Welcome to The Sleepy Scientist. I'm your host, and tonight we're embarking on an extraordinary journey through the fascinating world of artificial intelligence. Whether you're listening from your cozy bedroom in New York, your living room in London, your kitchen in Tokyo, or wherever you are in this beautiful, interconnected world of ours, I'm so glad you've joined me tonight. You know, there's something almost magical about exploring the future while the world around us sleeps. As millions of people rest their minds, artificial intelligence systems across the globe are working tirelessly, learning, adapting, and yes, in their own way, dreaming up solutions to problems we haven't even thought of yet. Tonight, we're going to explore how AI isn't just changing our world, it's literally dreaming up our future. And I promise you, by the time we're done, you'll see AI not as some distant, intimidating technology, but as a remarkable tool that's already making your life better in ways you might never have imagined. So grab your favorite warm beverage, get comfortable, and let's dive into this incredible story together. Because tonight, we're not just learning about AI, we're discovering how it's quietly revolutionizing everything, from the way doctors diagnose diseases, to how artists create masterpieces, from how cities manage traffic, to how we might one day solve climate change. Picture this, it's 3 a.m., and while you're fast asleep, dreaming of tomorrow's possibilities, thousands of artificial intelligence systems around the world are wide awake. They're processing data, recognizing patterns, and making connections that would take human researchers years to discover. In a very real sense, they're dreaming, not the kind of dreams we have, filled with images and emotions, but mathematical dreams, algorithmic dreams, dreams made of data and possibility. Let me tell you a story that might surprise you. The concept of artificial intelligence isn't as modern as you might think. Back in 1950, a brilliant British mathematician named Alan Turing asked a simple but profound question: can machines think? This question would spark a revolution that's still unfolding today, right here in 2025. But here's what's fascinating. Turing wasn't just asking whether machines could compute. Calculators could already do that. He was asking whether machines could exhibit intelligence indistinguishable from human intelligence. He proposed what we now call the Turing test. If a human evaluator can't tell whether they're conversing with a human or a machine, then the machine has achieved artificial intelligence. Fast forward to today, and we're not just passing the Turing test, we're redefining what intelligence means entirely. Modern AI systems can write poetry that moves us to tears, compose symphonies that give us chills, and solve complex scientific problems that have puzzled researchers for decades. Now, you might be wondering, what do you mean when you say AI is dreaming? It's a beautiful metaphor, but there's real science behind it. When we humans dream, our brains are processing the day's experiences, forming new neural connections, and sometimes coming up with creative solutions to problems we've been wrestling with. AI systems do something remarkably similar. During what we call training phases, AI neural networks process vast amounts of information, adjusting billions of tiny connections between artificial neurons. They're essentially dreaming their way to intelligence, finding patterns in relationships and data that no human could ever process alone. Consider this: Google's DeepMind AI system called AlphaGo didn't just learn to play the ancient game of Go by memorizing moves from human games. It played millions of games against itself, dreaming up strategies that no human had ever conceived. When it defeated the world champion Lee Sedol in 2016, it made moves that Go masters called divine, moves that seemed to come from pure intuition and creativity. Modern AI rests on three fundamental pillars, and understanding these will help you appreciate just how remarkable this technology really is. First, we have data, the raw material of dreams. Every AI system needs data to learn from, just like we need experiences to grow. But the scale is mind-boggling. While a human might read a few hundred books in a lifetime, an AI system can process the equivalent of millions of books in a single day. It's like having a student who never sleeps, never gets tired, and has perfect memory. Second, we have algorithms, the grammar of digital dreams. If data is the raw material, algorithms are the rules that govern how AI systems learn and make decisions. These aren't simple if-then statements. Modern AI algorithms are inspired by the structure of the human brain, with layers upon layers of artificial neurons that can recognize incredibly complex patterns. Third, we have computing power, the engine of dreams. The processing power. available to AI researchers today is simply staggering. Modern AI systems run on specialized chips that can perform trillions of calculations per second. It's like having a brain that can think 1,000,000 times faster than a human brain. Here's something that might surprise you. You've probably interacted with dozens of AI systems today without even realizing it. That smooth route your GPS found to avoid traffic. AI. The fact that your email spam folder actually catches spam. AI. The way your smartphone camera automatically adjusts for perfect lighting. AI. The recommended movie that turned out to be exactly what you wanted to watch. You guessed it, AI. Even as we speak tonight, AI systems are monitoring your city's power grid to prevent blackouts, analyzing medical scans to help doctors catch diseases early, optimizing delivery routes to get packages to you faster, filtering out malicious content from your social media feeds, and predicting weather patterns to keep you safe from storms. What's truly remarkable is how fast this field is advancing. In 2019, the most advanced language AI could barely write a coherent paragraph. Today, AI systems can write novels, explain complex scientific concepts, and even help students learn by adapting to their individual learning styles. This acceleration isn't slowing down, it's speeding up. Researchers call this the AI flywheel effect. As AI systems become more capable, they help us design even better AI systems, which in turn become more capable, and so on. It's like a rocket ship that builds a bigger engine while it's already flying. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds incredible, but isn't AI dangerous? Won't it take our jobs? What if it becomes too powerful? These are completely valid concerns, and we'll address them thoroughly in our chapter on AI ethics. But here's the thing. The AI researchers and engineers working on these systems are asking the same questions. They're not reckless dreamers. They're thoughtful people who want to build a better future for all of us. The key is understanding that AI isn't developing in a vacuum. Every breakthrough comes with careful consideration of its implications. Every new capability is paired with safeguards and ethical guidelines. The goal isn't to replace human intelligence. It's to augment it, to help us solve problems that are too complex for humans alone. As we stand here in 2025, we're at an inflection point in human history. We have the opportunity to harness artificial intelligence to solve some of our greatest challenges: climate change, disease, poverty, and inequality. AI isn't just dreaming up better ways to sell us products or optimize our commutes. It's dreaming up solutions to problems that affect billions of people. In the coming chapters, we'll explore how AI is revolutionizing medicine, making our cities smarter and more sustainable, unleashing new forms of creativity, and helping us understand our universe in ways we never thought possible. But perhaps most importantly, we'll see how this technology is fundamentally human in its purpose. Every AI system, no matter how sophisticated, was created by humans, for humans. These digital dreams aren't replacing our human dreams, they're helping us achieve them. So as we prepare to dive deeper into this incredible world, remember this: we're not just observers of this technological revolution, we're participants in it. Every time you use a smartphone, ask a virtual assistant a question, or benefit from a medical breakthrough powered by AI, you're part of this story. The future isn't something that's happening to us, it's something we're actively creating. One algorithm, one dataset, one digital dream at a time. And that, my friends, is just the beginning of our story tonight. Close your eyes for a moment and think about the most complex, most beautiful thing you know. Maybe it's a piece of music that moves you, a work of art that takes your breath away, or simply the way sunlight filters through leaves on a quiet morning. Now, consider this incredible fact. Every one of these experiences, every emotion they evoke, every memory they create, happens because of the roughly 86 billion neurons in your brain working together in perfect harmony. Tonight, we're going to explore how scientists and engineers have been inspired by this biological masterpiece to create something truly remarkable: artificial neural networks that are learning to see, understand, and create in ways that seemed impossible just a few years ago. Let's start with a moment of wonder. Right now, as you listen to my voice, your brain is performing feats that would make the world's most powerful supercomputers envious. You're not just hearing sounds, you're recognizing my voice, understanding the meaning of my words, connecting them to your existing knowledge, and maybe even forming mental images of the concepts I'm describing. Each of your neurons is like a tiny decision maker, receiving signals from thousands of other neurons, processing that information, and then deciding whether to send its own signal forward. But here's the magical part. No single neuron understands what you're thinking about. The magic happens in the connections, in the patterns, in the way billions of simple elements work together to create something infinitely complex and beautiful: your consciousness. In 1943, two brilliant researchers, Warren McCulloch and Walter Pitts, had a revolutionary idea. What if we could create artificial neurons, simplified mathematical models of biological neurons, and connect them together? What if we could build a machine that learns the way brains learn? Their artificial neuron was elegantly simple. It receives numerical inputs, multiplies each by a weight representing the strength of the connection, adds them all up, and then decides whether to fire based on whether the total exceeds a certain threshold. It sounds almost trivially simple, doesn't it? But here's where it gets beautiful. When you connect thousands, millions, or even billions of these simple artificial neurons together, something magical happens. Just like in your brain, the complexity emerges not from any individual neuron, but from the intricate web of connections between them. For decades, neural networks were limited to just a few layers of neurons. They could recognize simple patterns, but they couldn't handle the complexity of real-world problems. It was like trying to understand a symphony by listening to just the first few notes. Then, in the 2000s, researchers made a breakthrough that would change everything. They discovered how to train deep neural networks with many layers of neurons, each one learning to recognize increasingly complex patterns. Imagine learning to recognize a face. The first layer of neurons might learn to detect simple edges and lines. The second layer combines these two recognized shapes, like eyes and noses. The third layer learns to put these together into faces. And the final layer learns to recognize whose face it is. Each layer builds on the insights of the previous one, creating a hierarchy of understanding that mirrors how your own brain processes visual information. Let me tell you about a moment that sent shockwaves through the AI community. In 2012, a team led by Geoffrey Hinton, often called the godfather of deep learning, entered a computer vision competition called Image. Their deep neural network didn't just win, it obliterated the competition, achieving error rates that were 10% better than anything that had come before. But the real shock wasn't the numbers, it was what the network had learned to see. Researchers discovered that different layers of the network had spontaneously learned to recognize everything from simple edges to complex textures to entire objects. The network had taught itself to see, without any human explicitly programming it to recognize these features. It was like watching a child learn to recognize faces, except this child could process millions of images in the time it takes you to blink. Just as nature has evolved different types of brains for different purposes, the echolocation-optimized brain of a bat, the pattern recognition genius of an octopus, the social intelligence of a dolphin, computer scientists have developed different types of neural networks for different tasks. Convolutional neural networks, inspired by how your visual cortex processes images, are the technology behind facial recognition in your photos, medical image analysis that can spot cancer better than human radiologists, and autonomous vehicles that can navigate complex traffic situations. Recurrent neural networks have a form of memory, allowing them to understand sequences and context. They're what power language translation, voice recognition, and even AI systems that can compose music or write poetry. The newest and perhaps most powerful type, transformer networks, have learned to pay attention to the most important parts of their input. Much like how you focus on the most relevant parts of a conversation, these are the networks behind the most advanced AI language models we have today. Perhaps the most fascinating of all are generative adversarial networks, which pit two neural networks against each other, one trying to create realistic fake images, the other trying to detect fakes. Through this competition, they learn to generate incredibly realistic images, videos, and even audio that never existed before. The way we train neural networks is remarkably similar to how children learn. We show them thousands, sometimes millions of examples, and gradually, through trial and error, they learn to recognize patterns and make predictions. But here's what's truly remarkable. We don't program these networks with explicit rules. We don't tell them a cat has pointy ears and whiskers. Instead, we show them thousands of pictures of cats and dogs, and they figure out for themselves what makes a cat and a dog a dog. This process, called backpropagation, is like a teacher grading a student's work and then providing feedback on how to improve. The network makes a prediction. We tell it whether it's right or wrong, and then it adjusts all of its internal connections to get better at making similar predictions in the future. Here's something that might blow your mind. A neural network, trained to recognize objects in photographs, can often be retrained to diagnose medical conditions from X-rays with just a few hundred medical examples. How is this possible? It turns out that the early layers of these networks learn to recognize basic visual features, edges, textures, shapes that are useful for many different tasks. It's like how a musician who learns to play piano can more easily learn to play other keyboard instruments. The fundamental skills transfer. This discovery has democratized AI development. Instead of needing millions of examples to train a network from scratch, researchers can now adapt existing networks to new tasks. With relatively small datasets, it's opened up possibilities for AI applications in specialized fields where large datasets are difficult to obtain. Let me share some examples that showcase just how remarkable these digital brains have become. At Stanford University, researchers trained a neural network to diagnose skin cancer from photographs. Not only did it match the performance of expert dermatologists, but it could also identify rare conditions that even specialists might miss. The network had learned to see patterns in skin lesions that were invisible to the human eye. Artists are now collaborating with neural networks to create entirely new forms of art. The network DALL-E can generate realistic images from text descriptions, while GPT-based systems can write poetry, compose music, and even help authors overcome writer's block. These aren't replacing human creativity, they're amplifying it. DeepMind's AlphaFold neural network solved one of biology's greatest challenges, predicting how proteins fold into their 3D shapes. This breakthrough could accelerate drug discovery by decades, potentially helping us develop treatments for diseases that have plagued humanity for centuries. Perhaps the most profound question in AI research today is, do neural networks truly understand what they're doing, or are they just very sophisticated pattern-matching machines? Recent research suggests something fascinating. Large neural networks seem to develop their own internal representations of concepts, their own ways of organizing knowledge that sometimes mirror how humans think about the world. They create their own categories, their own associations, their own form of digital intuition. When we peer inside these networks, we sometimes find neurons that have specialized to recognize specific concepts. There's a grandmother cell that fires when the network sees images of grandmotherly figures, or a curve detector that responds to curved lines. It's as if the network has developed its own internal vocabulary for understanding the world. One of the most important discoveries in modern AI research is what's called the scaling hypothesis, the idea that many AI capabilities emerge naturally as neural networks get larger and are trained on more data. We've seen this pattern repeatedly. Networks that struggle with basic tasks suddenly become remarkably capable when scaled up. It's like there are thresholds of complexity, where qualitatively, new abilities emerge. A small network might barely be able to recognize simple objects, but scale it up, and suddenly it can understand context, make inferences, and even exhibit what looks like common-sense reasoning. Of course, neural networks aren't perfect. They can be fooled by adversarial examples, carefully crafted inputs designed to trick them. They can perpetuate biases present in their training data. They sometimes make confident predictions about things they know nothing about. But researchers are actively working on these challenges. New techniques like uncertainty quantification help networks express how confident they are in their predictions. Advances in fairness and bias detection help ensure AI systems treat everyone equitably. And robustness research is making networks more resistant to adversarial attacks. Looking to the future, researchers are developing new types of computer chips that more closely mimic the structure and function of biological brains. These neuromorphic chips could make AI systems vastly more efficient, allowing them to run on the power of a few watts rather than the kilowatts required by today's systems. Imagine having the processing power of today's most advanced AI systems in a device no larger than your smartphone, running on battery power for weeks at a time. This could enable AI capabilities in places and applications we can barely imagine today. As we wrap up this chapter, I want you to consider the profound beauty of what we've accomplished. We've taken inspiration from the 3-pound universe inside your skull and created digital systems that can see, understand, and create in ways that seemed like pure science fiction just a few decades ago. But perhaps most remarkably, we've discovered that intelligence isn't magic, it's computation. It's patterns recognizing patterns, connections strengthening connections, complexity emerging from simplicity. These neural networks aren't just tools, they're a new form of intelligence, one that complements and amplifies our own human intelligence in ways we're only beginning to understand. Picture a student who never sleeps, never gets tired, and can study millions of textbooks simultaneously, while taking notes on everything. This student doesn't just memorize facts, they discover hidden connections between ideas that no professor ever taught them. They find patterns in chaos, meaning in noise, and solutions in data that would take human researchers lifetimes to uncover. This isn't science fiction. This is machine learning. And right now, while you're listening to this, thousands of these digital students are burning the midnight oil, learning and growing in ways that would have seemed impossible just a generation ago. Machine learning is perhaps the most transformative technology of our time, yet it's also one of the most misunderstood. At its heart, machine learning is about finding patterns in data and using those patterns to make predictions or decisions about new, unseen information. But that simple description hardly captures the profound implications of what's happening. We're teaching computers not just to follow instructions, but to learn from experience, to adapt to new situations, and to discover insights that even their creators never anticipated. Let me take you back to where this all began. In the 1950s, a computer scientist named Arthur Samuel was working at IBM when he had a radical idea. Instead of programming a computer with explicit rules for playing checkers, what if he could get the computer to learn how to play by playing thousands of games and learning from its mistakes? Samuel's program started out playing randomly, making terrible moves and losing constantly. But with each game, it analyzed what went wrong, adjusted its strategy, and gradually became better. Eventually, Samuel's program became so skilled that it could beat Samuel himself, the very person who created it. This was the birth of machine learning, and it represented a fundamental shift in how we think about computation. Traditional programming involves writing specific instructions. If this happens, do that. If the temperature is below 68 degrees, turn on the heater. If the user clicks the save button, save the file. But machine learning flips this relationship. Instead of telling the computer what to do, we show it examples of what we want and let it figure out the rules for itself. Think about how you learned to recognize your mother's voice. Nobody sat you down with a manual explaining the exact frequency, patterns, and tonal qualities that make your mother's voice unique. Instead, you heard her voice thousands of times in different contexts, when she was happy, sad, tired, excited, and your brain gradually learned to recognize those patterns. Machine learning works in a remarkably similar way. We feed the system thousands of examples, and it learns to recognize the underlying patterns that distinguish one thing from another. The beauty of machine learning lies in its 3 fundamental approaches, each solving different types of problems in elegant ways. Supervised learning is like having a teacher who provides both questions and answers. We show the system thousands of examples, photos labeled as cat or dog, emails marked as spam or not spam, medical scans annotated with diagnoses. The system learns to map inputs to outputs, finding the hidden relationships that allow it to make accurate predictions on new, unlabeled data. It's remarkable how effective this approach can be. A supervised learning system trained on enough examples can often outperform human experts at specific tasks. Whether it's diagnosing diseases from medical images or predicting which customers are most likely to cancel their subscriptions, unsupervised learning is more like being a detective, searching for hidden patterns without knowing what you're looking for. The system analyzes data without any labels or guidance, trying to discover the underlying structure. It might discover that customers naturally fall into distinct groups based on their purchasing behavior, or that certain genes tend to be active together in specific diseases. These discoveries often surprise even the researchers who built the systems, revealing insights that humans had never noticed, despite looking at the same data for years. Then there's reinforcement learning, perhaps the most fascinating approach of all. This is like learning to ride a bicycle through trial and error. The system takes actions in an environment and receives feedback in the form of rewards or penalties. Over time, it learns to maximize rewards and minimize penalties, developing strategies that can be incredibly sophisticated. This is how AI systems have learned to play chess, Go, and video games at superhuman levels. But more importantly, it's how they're learning to navigate real-world challenges like controlling robots, managing power grids, and even trading stocks. One of the most remarkable aspects of modern machine learning is how it's democratizing expertise. Consider what happened in the field of medical imaging. For decades, becoming a radiologist required years of medical school, residency, and specialized training to develop the ability to spot subtle signs of disease in X-rays, CT scans, and Mr. East. Now, machine learning systems trained on thousands of medical images can detect certain conditions with accuracy that matches or exceeds that of experienced radiologists. This doesn't replace doctors, it amplifies their capabilities, helping them catch diseases earlier and more accurately than ever before. The same pattern is repeating across countless fields. In agriculture, machine learning systems analyze satellite imagery to help farmers optimize crop yields and detect pest infestations before they spread. In finance, algorithms process vast amounts of market data to identify trading opportunities and assess credit risk with unprecedented precision. In transportation, machine learning powers everything from route optimization in delivery trucks to the complex decision-making systems in autonomous vehicles. But perhaps the most exciting development in recent years has been the emergence of what we call few-shot learning and transfer learning. These techniques allow machine learning systems to adapt to new tasks with minimal additional training. Imagine a system that's learned to recognize objects in photographs, suddenly being able to diagnose medical conditions from X-rays, or a language model trained on English text being able to translate languages it's never seen before. This flexibility represents a fundamental breakthrough in artificial intelligence, moving us closer to systems that can generalize and adapt, like human intelligence. The scale at which modern machine learning operates is almost incomprehensible. Large language models like GPT-4 are trained on text datasets containing trillions of words, essentially the entire written output of human civilization that's available digitally. Computer vision systems are trained on datasets containing billions of images. These systems don't just memorize this information, they extract patterns, relationships, and insights that allow them to understand and generate new content that never existed in their training data. This massive scale creates what researchers call emergent abilities, capabilities that suddenly appear when systems reach a certain size and complexity. A small language model might be able to complete simple sentences, but scale it up, and suddenly it can engage in complex reasoning, write poetry, solve mathematical problems, and even exhibit what appears to be creativity and humor. It's as if there are critical thresholds where quantity transforms into qualitatively different kinds of intelligence. The learning process itself is fascinating to observe. Modern machine learning systems use techniques inspired by how our brains learn, but operating at speeds and scales that biological intelligence could never achieve. During training, the system makes billions of tiny adjustments to its internal parameters, each adjustment based on feedback about whether its predictions are getting better or worse. It's like watching evolution in fast forward, with successful strategies being reinforced and unsuccessful ones being discarded at lightning speed. One of the most profound implications of machine learning is how it's changing our relationship with knowledge itself. Traditionally, human expertise has been built on the ability to remember facts, recognize patterns, and apply rules. But when machines can process vastly more information than any human and recognize patterns we never knew existed, what does it mean to be an expert? The answer, I believe, is that human expertise is evolving to focus on what we do best: creative problem-solving, ethical reasoning, emotional intelligence, and the ability to put machine-generated insights into meaningful context. The applications of machine learning seem to expand every day. In climate science, machine learning models are helping us understand complex weather patterns and predict the effects of climate change with unprecedented accuracy. In drug discovery, these systems are identifying potential new medicines by analyzing molecular structures and predicting how different compounds might interact with biological systems. In space exploration, machine learning helps us analyze the vast amounts of data coming back from telescopes and spacecraft, discovering new planets, stars, and even potentially habitable worlds. But machine learning isn't just about solving big, complex problems. It's also making everyday life more convenient and efficient in ways we often don't even notice. When your phone's camera automatically adjusts its settings for the perfect shot, that's machine learning. When your music streaming service suggests a song you end up loving, that's machine learning. When your GPS finds the fastest route through traffic, or when your email filters out spam, or when your smart home thermostat learns your preferences and adjusts accordingly. All of these conveniences are powered by systems that learn to help you by analyzing patterns in data. The speed of progress in machine learning is breathtaking. Capabilities that seemed impossible just a few years ago are now commonplace. Systems that couldn't reliably transcribe speech are now carrying on natural conversations. Image recognition. Systems that struggled with basic objects are now creating photorealistic images from text descriptions. Language models that could barely string together coherent sentences are now writing code, composing music, and even helping researchers make scientific discoveries. This rapid progress raises important questions about the future of work, education, and human society. If machines can learn to perform tasks that once required years of human training, how do we adapt our educational systems and career paths? How do we ensure that the benefits of this technology are distributed fairly? How do we maintain human agency and creativity in a world where machines can learn to do so many things we once thought were uniquely human? The answers to these questions aren't simple, but they're not insurmountable either. History shows us that technological revolutions often create new opportunities, even as they disrupt existing ones. The printing press didn't eliminate the need for human knowledge, it democratized it. The Industrial Revolution didn't eliminate the need for human labor, it transformed it. Machine learning may similarly transform the nature of human work and learning, but it's unlikely to eliminate the need for human insight, creativity, and judgment. As we look toward the future, the trajectory of machine learning seems to be pointing toward systems that are not just more capable, but more collaborative. Instead of replacing human intelligence, the most successful applications of machine learning tend to be those that augment and amplify human capabilities. Doctors using AI to improve diagnostic accuracy, scientists using machine learning to accelerate research, artists collaborating with AI systems to create new forms of expression. These partnerships between human and artificial intelligence may represent the true future of this technology. The midnight oil of machine learning burns brightly in research labs, data centers, and tech companies around the world. But it's also burning in hospitals, schools, farms, and creative studios. It's burning in the smartphone in your pocket and the smart grid that powers your home. Machine learning has become the invisible infrastructure of modern life, quietly making countless decisions and optimizations that make our world more efficient, more personalized, and more capable of adapting to our needs. As we continue our journey through the landscape of artificial intelligence, remember that machine learning is not just a technology, it's a new way of solving problems, a new form of intelligence that learns and adapts just as we do, but at scales and speeds that complement our human abilities in remarkable ways. The systems burning the midnight oil tonight are dreaming up solutions to problems we haven't even discovered yet. And that's perhaps the most exciting possibility of all. In a hospital room somewhere in the world, a patient sleeps peacefully, unaware that artificial intelligence is standing guard over their recovery. AI systems are continuously monitoring their vital signs, analyzing their blood test results, and even predicting potential complications hours before human doctors might notice the warning signs. In radiology departments, AI is examining thousands of medical images, spotting the earliest signs of cancer with an accuracy that sometimes surpasses human specialists. In research laboratories, AI is designing new drugs and treatment protocols that could save millions of lives. This is healthcare's quiet revolution, one that's happening 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, while most of us sleep soundly in our beds. The story of AI in healthcare begins with a simple but profound observation. The human body generates an enormous amount of data every single day. Your heart beats about 100,000 times, your lungs take roughly 20,000 breaths, your kidneys filter about 180 liters of blood, and every cell in your body is constantly producing and responding to chemical signals. Traditional medicine has always relied on snapshots of this data, a blood pressure reading during a doctor's visit, a blood test taken when you're feeling unwell, an X-ray when you have symptoms. But what if we could monitor and analyze this data continuously, spotting patterns and changes long before symptoms appear? This is exactly what's happening in intensive care units around the world. AI systems called digital ICU platforms are revolutionizing critical care by continuously analyzing data from dozens of sensors, monitoring each patient. These systems can predict sepsis, a life-threatening condition where the body's response to infection causes organ damage up to 4 hours before traditional clinical signs appear. In those crucial 4 hours, doctors can begin treatment that dramatically improves patient outcomes. It's like having a crystal ball that can see into the near future of a patient's health, but instead of magic, it uses the power of machine learning applied to medical data. The transformation in medical imaging is perhaps even more remarkable. Consider the challenge facing a radiologist examining a mammogram for signs of breast cancer. They're looking for subtle differences in tissue density, tiny or irregular masses that might indicate malignancy. A skilled radiologist can identify these signs with impressive accuracy, but they're limited by human vision and the fatigue that comes from examining hundreds of images each day. Now, imagine an AI system that has been trained on millions of mammograms, including images of cancers that were initially missed but later discovered. This system never gets tired, never has a bad day, and has literally seen more breast cancer cases than any human radiologist could see in multiple lifetimes. Google's AI system for diabetic retinopathy screening represents a perfect example of how AI can democratize medical expertise. Diabetic retinopathy is a complication of diabetes that can cause blindness if not detected and treated early. However, screening requires examination by an eye specialist, using specialized equipment, resources that are scarce in many parts of the world. Google's AI system can analyze photographs of the retina taken with a relatively simple camera and detect signs of diabetic retinopathy with accuracy matching that of human specialists. This technology is now being deployed in clinics around the world, bringing expert-level eye care to communities that previously had no access to specialists. But AI's impact on healthcare extends far beyond diagnosis. In the operating room, AI systems are helping surgeons plan complex procedures by creating detailed 3D models of patients' anatomy from CT and MRI scans. These models allow surgeons to practice difficult operations before making their first incision, reducing risks and improving outcomes. During surgery, AI-powered robotic systems provide steady, precise movements that can perform delicate procedures with accuracy that surpasses human hand coordination. The Da Vinci surgical system, now used in hospitals worldwide, translates a surgeon's hand movements into smaller, more precise movements of tiny instruments inside the patient's body. Drug discovery, traditionally one of the most expensive and time-consuming processes in medicine, is being revolutionized by AI. Developing a new drug typically takes 10 to 15 years and costs billions of dollars. With a high failure rate, AI is accelerating this process by predicting how different molecules will interact with biological targets, identifying promising drug candidates much faster than traditional methods. DeepMind's AlphaFold system, which can predict how proteins fold into their three-dimensional shapes, is providing insights that are accelerating research into diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and cancer. Perhaps even more exciting is AI's potential to personalize medicine. Every person's genetics, lifestyle, and medical history create a unique biological fingerprint that affects how they respond to different treatments. AI systems can analyze these complex patterns to predict which treatments are most likely to work for individual patients. In cancer care, AI is helping oncologists select the most effective chemotherapy regimens based on the specific genetic characteristics of a patient's tumor. In psychiatry, AI is beginning to help match patients with the antidepressants most likely to work for their specific condition, reducing the trial-and-error process that can take months or years. Mental health represents another frontier where AI is making significant contributions. Mental health conditions affect billions of people worldwide, but access to mental health care remains limited in many regions. AI-powered chatbots and virtual therapists are providing 24/7 support to people struggling with depression, anxiety, and other mental health challenges. While these systems can't replace human therapists, they can provide immediate support during crisis moments and help people develop coping strategies between therapy sessions. AI is also transforming preventive medicine by identifying people at risk of developing diseases before symptoms appear. By analyzing patterns in electronic health records, AI systems can predict which patients are at high risk of developing conditions like heart disease, diabetes, or stroke. This allows doctors to intervene early with lifestyle changes or preventive treatments that can prevent disease from developing in the first place. It's like having a medical time machine that can see into your health future and give you the opportunity to change course. The COVID-19 pandemic provided a dramatic demonstration of AI's potential in public health. AI systems helped track the spread of the virus, predict hotspots, and optimize the distribution of medical resources. In vaccine development, AI accelerated the identification of promising vaccine candidates and helped optimize their design. Contact tracing apps used AI to identify people who might have been exposed to the virus, helping slow its spread. Wearable devices and smartphone apps are democratizing health monitoring by making it possible for people to track their health continuously. AI analyzes data from these devices to detect irregular heart rhythms, monitor blood sugar levels, track sleep patterns, and even identify early signs of illness. The Apple Watch, for example, has detected thousands of cases of atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat that can lead to stroke if untreated. Users receive alerts prompting them to seek medical attention, often preventing serious complications. In emergency medicine, AI is helping paramedics and emergency room doctors make critical decisions under pressure. AI systems can analyze ECGs in seconds to identify heart attacks, helping ensure that patients receive life-saving treatment as quickly as possible. In stroke care, AI can analyze brain scans to identify the type of stroke and predict which patients are most likely to benefit from different treatments, decisions that must be made within hours to prevent permanent brain damage. The field of precision medicine is being transformed by AI's ability to analyze vast amounts of genomic data. Your DNA contains about 3 billion base pairs, and variations in this genetic code affects everything from your risk of developing certain diseases to how you metabolize medications. AI systems can analyze these genetic patterns along with information about your lifestyle, environment, and medical history to provide personalized health recommendations and treatment plans. Rare diseases, which collectively affect millions of people worldwide, are particularly benefiting from AI advances. Because each rare disease affects relatively few people, it can take years for patients to receive correct diagnoses as doctors struggle to recognize conditions they may have never seen before. AI systems trained on global databases of rare disease cases can suggest diagnoses that human doctors might never consider, reducing the diagnostic journey from years to weeks or even days. The integration of AI into electronic health records is making healthcare more efficient and reducing medical errors. AI can automatically extract relevant information from doctors' notes, flag potential drug interactions, and remind doctors about necessary preventive care measures. These systems act like intelligent assistants, helping busy healthcare providers focus on patient care rather than administrative tasks. Telemedicine, accelerated by the pandemic, is being enhanced by AI to provide remote care that's nearly as effective as in-person visits. AI-powered diagnostic tools can analyze images from smartphone cameras to assess skin conditions, evaluate wounds, or check for signs of infection. Virtual nurses powered by AI provide 24/7 patient support, answering questions, monitoring symptoms, and knowing when to escalate concerns to human healthcare providers. The future of AI in healthcare promises even more remarkable advances. Researchers are developing AI systems that can predict Alzheimer's disease decades before symptoms appear by analyzing subtle changes in speech patterns, walking gait, or even writing style. Brain-computer interfaces combined with AI may one day help paralyzed patients control devices with their thoughts, or even restore movement to paralyzed limbs. Nanobots, microscopic robots equipped with AI, could one day patrol our bloodstreams, delivering drugs directly to diseased cells, removing arterial plaques, or even repairing damaged DNA. While this may sound like science fiction, researchers are already developing the first generations of such systems. Perhaps most importantly, AI is democratizing access to high-quality healthcare. In regions where specialist doctors are scarce, AI systems can provide expert-level diagnostic capabilities. In areas where healthcare resources are limited, AI can help prioritize patients who need immediate attention. As these technologies become more accessible and affordable, they have the potential to reduce health disparities and extend quality healthcare to everyone, regardless of their geographic location or economic circumstances. The challenges, of course, are significant. Ensuring that AI systems are trained on diverse datasets that represent all populations, protecting patient privacy while enabling beneficial uses of health data, and maintaining the human touch in healthcare while leveraging AI's capabilities. But the potential benefits: earlier detection of diseases, more effective treatments, reduced medical errors, and democratized access to expert care, are so profound that healthcare systems around the world are investing heavily in AI technologies. As you rest tonight, remember that AI systems are working tirelessly to advance medical knowledge, improve patient care, and develop the treatments of tomorrow. They're analyzing medical research, designing new drugs, monitoring patients in intensive care units, and helping doctors make better decisions. In a very real sense, AI is helping medicine heal while we sleep, standing as a tireless guardian of human health and well-being. The future of healthcare is being written in code, trained on data, and powered by algorithms that never rest in their mission to help us live longer, healthier, more fulfilling lives. As our journey through the realm of artificial intelligence draws to a close tonight, I want you to imagine for a moment that you're standing at the edge of a new dawn, not just any dawn, but the dawn of an era that will fundamentally reshape what it means to be human in an interconnected, intelligent world. The first rays of sunlight are breaking over the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant hues of possibility. And in that light, we can see the outlines of a future that seemed like pure fantasy just a generation ago. We've traveled together through the digital dreams of neural networks that mirror the very essence of our biological minds, witnessed machine learning systems burning the midnight oil to solve problems we never knew existed, and marveled at AI's healing touch in healthcare, where algorithms stand as silent guardians over our well-being while we sleep. But perhaps the most profound realization from our exploration is this: we are not merely observers of this technological revolution, we are its architects, its beneficiaries, and its conscience, standing at an inflection point where the choices we make today will echo through generations of human progress. The artificial intelligence systems we've discussed tonight are not cold, calculating machines seeking to replace human intelligence. They are extensions of human creativity, amplifiers of our problem-solving capabilities, and partners in our greatest endeavors to heal the sick, understand the universe, solve climate change, create beauty, and push the boundaries of what's possible. Every neural network that learns to recognize patterns in medical images was trained by human doctors sharing their expertise. Every algorithm that optimizes traffic flow was designed by engineers who care about reducing commute times and emissions. Every AI system that helps artists create was built by people who believe in the power of human creativity, enhanced by computational intelligence. This is perhaps the most beautiful aspect of the AI revolution. It represents the collective hopes, dreams, and aspirations of humanity encoded into silicon and software, working tirelessly to make our shared vision of a better world a reality. When we look at the current state of artificial intelligence in 2025, we see a technology that has already begun to transform every aspect of human existence in ways both profound and subtle. Consider your typical day. You wake up to an alarm, optimized by AI to match your sleep cycles. Check weather forecasts generated by machine learning models that process satellite data and atmospheric conditions in real time. Navigate to work using GPS systems that employ AI to calculate optimal routes through dynamic traffic patterns. Interact with voice assistants that understand natural language through sophisticated neural networks. Receive personalized news feeds, curated by algorithms that have learned your interests and preferences. Work with software tools that anticipate your needs and automate routine tasks. Shop online with recommendations powered by collaborative filtering systems. Stream entertainment selected by AI that has analyzed your viewing history and emotional responses. Monitor your health through wearable devices that use machine learning to detect anomalies in your vital signs. And return home to smart appliances that have learned your habits and preferences to create the perfect environment for relaxation and productivity. Yet this pervasive integration of AI into daily life represents just the beginning of a transformation that will accelerate dramatically over the coming decades. The AI systems of today, impressive as they are, will seem primitive compared to what's coming. We're on the cusp of breakthroughs that will make current capabilities look like the first tentative steps of a child learning to walk. Artificial general intelligence, AI systems that can reason, learn, and adapt across multiple domains with the flexibility and creativity of human intelligence, is no longer a question of if, but when. The scaling laws we've observed in machine learning suggest that as we continue to build larger models with more data and computational power, we'll see the emergence of qualitatively new capabilities that we can barely imagine today. The implications of this trajectory are staggering. Imagine AI systems that can conduct scientific research independently, formulating hypotheses, designing experiments, and making discoveries at a pace that accelerates human knowledge by orders of magnitude. Picture educational AI that provides every student on Earth with a personalized tutor more knowledgeable and patient than any human teacher, adapting in real time to each learner's needs, interests, and optimal learning style. Envision healthcare AI that can diagnose rare diseases from subtle patterns invisible to human perception, design personalized treatments based on individual genetic profiles, and even predict health issues years before symptoms appear. Consider creative AI that collaborates with human artists to produce forms of beauty and expression that neither could achieve alone, pushing the boundaries of what we consider possible in art, music, literature, and design. The economic implications alone are transformative. AI is already creating entirely new industries while optimizing existing ones for unprecedented efficiency. In manufacturing, AI-powered robotics and automation are enabling mass customization, the ability to produce personalized products at scale without the traditional trade-offs between customization and cost. In agriculture, precision farming, guided by AI, is maximizing crop yields while minimizing environmental impact, using sensors, drones, and satellite imagery to optimize everything from irrigation and fertilization to pest control and harvest timing. In finance, algorithmic trading systems process market information at superhuman speeds, while AI-powered risk assessment tools are democratizing access to credit and insurance by looking beyond traditional metrics to assess creditworthiness and risk profiles. The transformation extends to how we organize society itself. Smart cities powered by AI are already emerging around the world, using interconnected systems to optimize everything from traffic flow and energy distribution to waste management and public safety. These urban AI systems can predict and prevent problems before they occur, identifying potential infrastructure failures, optimizing emergency response routes, and even detecting social tensions that might lead to unrest. In Singapore, Stockholm, Barcelona, and dozens of other cities, AI is helping create urban environments that are more livable, sustainable, and responsive to citizen needs. But perhaps the most profound changes are happening in how we understand and interact with information itself. The explosion of human knowledge has reached a point where no individual can hope to master even a tiny fraction of what humanity collectively knows. AI systems are becoming our partners in navigating this vast ocean of information, helping us find relevant insights, synthesize complex concepts, and make connections across disparate fields of knowledge. Large language models can already read and understand millions of research papers, legal documents, historical texts, and technical manuals, then synthesize that information to answer questions, solve problems, and generate new insights that would take human researchers months or years to develop. This democratization of expertise has profound implications for human equality and opportunity. A student in rural Bangladesh can now access AI tutors with knowledge rivaling the world's best professors. A farmer in Kenya can receive agricultural advice from AI systems trained on global best practices in crop management. A small business owner in Peru can use AI tools to optimize inventory, predict customer demand, and compete with much larger enterprises. The barriers that have historically separated those with access to expertise from those without are beginning to crumble, replaced by AI systems that make high-quality knowledge and decision-making tools available to anyone with an internet connection. The scientific revolution enabled by AI is perhaps the most exciting development of all. In fields from astronomy to molecular biology, AI is accelerating the pace of discovery by analyzing vast datasets that would be impossible for humans to process manually. The James Webb Space Telescope generates terabytes of data every day, and AI systems are sifting through this information to identify new planets, stars, and cosmic phenomena. In biology, AI is helping researchers understand the complex interactions between genes, proteins, and cellular processes that underlie life itself. Climate scientists are using machine learning to analyze satellite data, ocean temperatures, atmospheric conditions, and countless other variables to build more accurate models of how our planet's climate is changing and what we can do about it. Drug discovery, historically one of the slowest and most expensive scientific endeavors, is being revolutionized by AI systems that can predict how molecules will interact with biological targets, identify promising drug candidates, and even design entirely new compounds with desired properties. What once took decades and billions of dollars can now be accomplished in years or even months, potentially bringing life-saving treatments to patients faster than ever before. The COVID-19 pandemic provided a dramatic demonstration of this potential, with AI playing crucial roles in everything from vaccine development to epidemiological modeling to the optimization of treatment protocols. The creative arts are experiencing their own AI-powered renaissance. Musicians are collaborating with AI systems to compose symphonies that blend human emotion with algorithmic innovation. Visual artists are using AI tools to create images, sculptures, and installations that challenge our understanding of creativity and authorship. Writers are partnering with language models to craft stories that explore new narrative structures and thematic territories. Filmmakers are using AI to generate visual effects, optimize editing choices, and even create entirely synthetic actors and environments. Rather than replacing human creativity, these tools are amplifying it, allowing artists to explore ideas and execute visions that would have been impossible without artificial intelligence. The democratization of creative tools through AI is particularly significant. A musician who can't afford expensive studio equipment can now create professional quality recordings using AI-powered audio processing. An independent filmmaker can produce visual effects that rival Hollywood blockbusters. A writer can overcome creative blocks with AI collaborators that suggest plot developments, character insights, and stylistic improvements. A visual artist can experiment with styles and techniques from across art history, guided by AI systems that understand the principles underlying different artistic movements, and can help translate those principles into contemporary works. Yet as we marvel at these transformative capabilities, we must also grapple with the profound challenges they present. The same AI systems that can democratize access to information and expertise can also be used to create sophisticated misinformation and propaganda. The algorithms that personalize our online experiences can also create filter bubbles that reinforce existing beliefs and polarize communities. The AI systems that optimize for engagement and attention can contribute to addictive behaviors and mental health issues. The automation capabilities that increase productivity and efficiency can also displace workers and exacerbate economic inequality if not managed thoughtfully. These challenges are not insurmountable, but they require careful attention, thoughtful regulation, and a commitment to developing AI systems that align with human values and promote human flourishing. The AI research community has increasingly focused on what's called AI alignment, ensuring that artificial intelligence systems pursue goals that are compatible with human welfare and values. This involves not just technical research into how to build more controllable and interpretable AI systems, but also philosophical and ethical work to understand what values we want AI systems to embody and how to encode those values in their design and operation. The question of AI governance, how societies should regulate and oversee the development and deployment of artificial intelligence, is one of the most important policy challenges of our time. Different countries and regions are taking different approaches, from the European Union's comprehensive AI regulation framework to China's state-directed AI development strategy to the United States' more market-driven approach with targeted interventions in specific areas. The challenge is to create governance frameworks that protect against potential harms while preserving the innovation and beneficial applications that make AI so valuable. International cooperation on AI governance is particularly crucial because AI technologies don't respect national boundaries. An AI system developed in one country can be deployed globally within minutes. The data used to train AI systems often comes from multiple countries. The benefits and risks of AI affect all of humanity. This reality is driving efforts to create international frameworks for AI cooperation. From technical standards and safety protocols to ethical guidelines and risk assessment procedures, the workplace transformation driven by AI presents both opportunities and challenges that require proactive responses from individuals, organizations, and governments. While AI will undoubtedly automate certain types of work, history suggests that technological revolutions often create new types of jobs even as they eliminate others. The key is ensuring that workers have the skills and support needed to transition to new roles, and that the benefits of increased productivity are shared broadly rather than concentrated among capital owners. This transition will require significant investments in education and retraining programs. Our educational systems, designed for an industrial age, need to evolve to prepare students for an age of human-AI collaboration. This means greater emphasis on creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and other distinctly human capabilities that complement rather than compete with AI. It also means developing new models of lifelong learning that allow workers to continuously update their skills as technology evolves. The future workplace will likely be characterized by human-AI collaboration rather than human-AI competition. The most successful organizations will be those that figure out how to combine human intuition, creativity, and judgment with AI's ability to process information, recognize patterns, and optimize complex systems. This collaboration requires new management approaches, organizational structures, and cultural norms that support productive partnerships between humans and machines. Privacy and data security represent another crucial dimension of the AI revolution. AI systems require vast amounts of data to train effectively, and this data often includes personal information about individuals' behaviors, preferences, and characteristics. Protecting privacy while enabling beneficial uses of data requires sophisticated technical solutions like differential privacy, federated learning, and homomorphic encryption, as well as legal and regulatory frameworks that give individuals control over how their data is used. The concentration of AI capabilities in the hands of a few large technology companies raises important questions about market power and democratic governance. The computational resources required to train AI systems are enormous and growing, potentially creating barriers to entry that could limit innovation and competition. Some researchers and policymakers are exploring approaches to democratize access to AI capabilities, from open-source models and shared computing infrastructure to regulatory interventions that prevent anti-competitive practices. Cultural and social adaptation to AI presents its own set of challenges and opportunities. As AI systems become more capable and ubiquitous, we need to develop new social norms and expectations about human-AI interaction. This includes questions about transparency and explainability, when and how AI systems should explain their decisions to users. It includes questions about consent and agency, how to ensure that people maintain meaningful control over AI systems that affect their lives. It includes questions about dignity and human worth, how to preserve human agency and self-determination in a world where machines can perform many tasks better than humans. The psychological and social impacts of AI are only beginning to be understood. Some people find AI systems helpful and empowering, while others find them threatening or alienating. The anthropomorphic tendency to attribute human-like qualities to AI systems can lead to both positive relationships, such as feeling supported by AI assistants, and problematic dependencies, such as preferring AI companionship to human relationships. Understanding and managing these psychological dynamics will be crucial for ensuring that AI enhances rather than diminishes human well-being. Looking toward the long-term future, the trajectory of AI development points toward possibilities that stretch the boundaries of imagination. Artificial general intelligence, when it arrives, could accelerate scientific and technological progress by orders of magnitude, potentially leading to solutions for humanity's greatest challenges within decades rather than centuries, the development of superintelligent AI systems, those that exceed human intelligence across all domains, could usher in an era of unprecedented prosperity and capability, but also requires careful management to ensure that such systems remain aligned with human values and under human control. The possibility of human-AI merger through brain-computer interfaces represents another long-term frontier. Companies like Neuralink are already developing technologies that allow direct communication between brains and computers, potentially enabling humans to access AI capabilities as seamlessly as we currently access our own memories and thoughts. Such technologies could enhance human cognitive abilities, treat neurological conditions, and create new forms of human-AI collaboration that we can barely conceive of today. Space exploration represents another domain where AI will play a crucial role in humanity's future. The vast distances and hostile environments of space make human exploration extremely challenging and expensive. AI-powered robotic systems can serve as our advanced scouts, explorers, and even colonizers, preparing the way for human settlement of other worlds. From autonomous Mars rovers to AI systems that could design and build habitats on other planets, artificial intelligence will be humanity's partner in becoming a multiplanetary species. The environmental challenges facing our planet, climate change, biodiversity loss, pollution, resource depletion, represent some of the most complex problems humanity has ever faced. AI offers powerful tools for addressing these challenges, from optimizing renewable energy systems and predicting climate impacts to designing more sustainable materials and processes. Smart grids powered by AI can balance electricity, supply and demand in real time, incorporating variable renewable sources like solar and wind. AI-powered climate models can help us understand the complex feedback loops in Earth's climate system and evaluate the effectiveness of different intervention strategies. Agriculture, which must feed a growing global population while minimizing environmental impact, is being transformed by AI technologies that optimize everything from seed selection and planting patterns to irrigation and harvesting. Vertical farms guided by AI can produce more food per square foot than traditional agriculture while using less water, energy, and pesticides. AI-powered monitoring systems can track the health of forests, oceans, and other ecosystems, providing early warning of environmental problems and guiding conservation efforts. The quest to understand consciousness itself, perhaps the deepest mystery of human existence, is being advanced by AI research. As we build increasingly sophisticated AI systems, we're forced to grapple with fundamental questions about the nature of intelligence, consciousness, and subjective experience. What does it mean for a system to understand something? Can artificial systems have genuine experiences, or are they merely sophisticated simulations? How do we distinguish between intelligence and the appearance of intelligence? These questions aren't merely academic, they have profound implications for how we design AI systems and how we relate to them. If AI systems can experience suffering or joy, we may have moral obligations toward them. If they can truly understand and create meaning, they may deserve rights and recognition as moral agents. If they can form genuine relationships with humans, we need to understand the nature and implications of those relationships. The development of AI is also teaching us about ourselves, about the nature of human intelligence, creativity, and consciousness. By trying to replicate these capabilities in machines, we're gaining new insights into how our own minds work. This understanding has applications in education, therapy, and human enhancement that could improve the quality of life for billions of people. The role of individuals in shaping the AI future cannot be overstated. While the development of AI systems requires significant technical expertise and computational resources, everyone has a stake in how these technologies are developed and deployed. Citizens can engage with policymakers to ensure that AI governance reflects democratic values and public interests. Consumers can support companies that develop AI responsibly and transparently. Students can prepare for careers that involve human-AI collaboration. Educators can help others understand AI capabilities and limitations. Artists can explore new forms of human-AI creative collaboration. The choices we make today about AI development and deployment will have consequences that reverberate for generations. The AI systems we build now will influence the trajectory of future AI development. The governance frameworks we establish now will shape how AI is regulated and controlled in the future. The cultural norms and expectations we develop now will influence how humans and AI systems interact for decades to come. This responsibility is both daunting and inspiring. We have the opportunity to shape one of the most powerful technologies in human history to serve human flourishing and address our greatest challenges. We can build AI systems that reduce inequality rather than exacerbate it, that enhance human capabilities rather than replace them, that respect human dignity and agency rather than diminish them. We can create a future where artificial intelligence helps humanity reach its full potential, where every person has access to world-class education, healthcare, and opportunities for creative expression and meaningful work. The story of AI is ultimately a story about human ingenuity, creativity, and our endless capacity to dream of a better world and then build the tools to make those dreams reality. From the ancient myths of artificial beings created to serve humanity, to the science fiction stories that imagined thinking machines, humans have always been fascinated by the possibility of creating intelligence beyond our own. Now that we've achieved this remarkable feat, we're discovering that the most important questions aren't about what AI can do, but about how we choose to use these capabilities to create a future that embodies our highest values and serves our deepest needs. The transformation we're experiencing is not just technological, it's fundamentally human. It's about augmenting our capabilities, amplifying our creativity, and accelerating our progress toward goals that have inspired humanity for millennia. Eliminating disease, ending poverty, understanding the universe, creating beauty, exploring the cosmos, and ensuring that every person has the opportunity to live a fulfilling life. As we stand at this inflection point in human history, we're called to be thoughtful stewards of this incredible technology. This means supporting research into AI safety and alignment, advocating for governance frameworks that protect human rights and promote beneficial outcomes, investing in education and retraining programs that help people adapt to changing economic conditions, and maintaining our focus on the human values and purposes that should guide AI development. It also means embracing the creative and collaborative possibilities that AI offers. The future will likely belong to those who can work effectively with AI systems, who can leverage their capabilities while contributing the uniquely human qualities of wisdom, creativity, empathy, and moral judgment. The most fulfilling careers, the most impactful organizations, and the most vibrant communities will be those that successfully combine human and artificial intelligence in service of shared goals and values. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, AI systems around the world will continue their tireless work, monitoring patients in hospitals, optimizing traffic flows in cities, analyzing climate data to better understand our planet's future, helping students learn in personalized ways, assisting researchers in making scientific discoveries, creating new forms of art and entertainment, and dreaming up solutions to problems we haven't even identified yet. They work not because they must, but because we have programmed them with our intentions, our hopes, and our desire to build a better world. In their digital dreams, we see reflections of our own human dreams, dreams of conquering disease, of understanding the universe, of creating beauty, of ensuring that every person has access to education and opportunity, of solving the climate crisis, and of exploring the vast frontiers of space and knowledge that still await us. These AI systems are extensions of our own aspirations, working tirelessly to advance human knowledge, improve human welfare, and expand human possibilities. The dawn that's breaking isn't just technological, it's human. It's the dawn of an era where our most ambitious goals for improving life on Earth become achievable, where our capacity for discovery and creation is amplified beyond anything previous generations could have imagined, and where the ancient human dream of creating tools that serve not just our immediate needs but our highest aspirations finally becomes reality. As the sleepy scientist, I've had the privilege of sharing this remarkable journey with you, exploring how artificial intelligence is quietly but profoundly transforming our world while most of us sleep. But the real journey, the one where you actively participate in shaping how AI develops and how it serves humanity, that journey begins when you wake up tomorrow. The future is not something that happens to us. It's something we actively create, one decision, one innovation, one ethical choice at a time. And in that future, artificial intelligence will be not our replacement, but our partner in the greatest adventure of all, the continuing evolution of human civilization toward greater knowledge, greater compassion, and greater possibilities. For every person on Earth, the choices we make in the coming years will determine whether AI becomes a force for human flourishing or a source of division and inequality. The responsibility is ours, the opportunity is unprecedented, and the potential for positive impact is limitless. Sweet dreams, and welcome to tomorrow, a tomorrow where human wisdom guides artificial intelligence, where technology serves humanity's highest purposes, and where the dreams we dream tonight become the reality we build together. In this future, we don't just wake up to tomorrow, we wake up as the creators of tomorrow, empowered by our artificial partners to achieve more than we ever thought possible. The age of artificial intelligence is not the end of the human story, it's the beginning of our greatest chapter yet.